Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. Today, we're going to be talking about a life taken too short, the life of Brandon Dixon. Brandon Dixon was born to Lisa Dixon and Kenneth Singleton on November 19th, 1991. He was the middle child as he had an older brother and a younger sister. He and his mom were extremely close. He was a self-proclaimed mama's boy, and anybody who knew Brandon knew how much his mother meant to him. He and his mom, they just had an amazing bond. Their birthdays were the same week, and like I said, anybody who knew him knew how much his mother meant to him. He and his father also had a close relationship, and they would bond over their love for sports. He grew up in Germantown, where he would play basketball and football. While in elementary school, he started to take football serious, and he even played for the Mount Airy Banners. In 2007, he was given the Longevity Award from the Banners just for his contributions on and off the field. The summer after his freshman year in high school, Miss Lisa decided to move the family to Plymouth Meeting, which is in Montgomery County and is a little quiet suburb right outside of Philly. They moved so that way, she could give her kids a better chance at life. That way they wouldn't have to see, the BS that Philly has to offer, basically. After they got settled in their new home, Brandon would attend Plymouth White Marsh High School. He immediately made friends, and everybody loved him. He was very, very good. He was a very good student. He excelled academically, and he even did really, really good at basketball. He was so good at playing basketball that he was mentioned in, the local newspapers and everything. The sports writers would write about him, and they labeled him a standout varsity player, and they had even credited him for helping the team win the 2010 state championship. After graduating from high school, he attended Manor College. He had attended the school for about, just one semester because while he was attending there, he realized that college just wasn't for him. So, after that one semester was over with, he went on to work for a roofing company. In 2017, he and his girlfriend, they welcomed a beautiful baby girl named Jordan to the world. Brandon was the most amazing dad ever. Excuse me. Brandon, he treated his daughter like the little princess that she is. He just, he loved his daughter so much. Whenever he would talk about her, he would just light up. Now, mind you, after the kids, after Miss Lisa's kids got older, got well grown and everything, Miss Lisa had moved back to Germantown. And Brandon stayed in Montgomery County with his girlfriend. And, but unfortunately, in March of 2022, he and his girlfriend had split up. And he would move back in with his mom. On May 4th, 2022, Miss Lisa said recalls that she didn't feel too good. And for 3 straight days, Brandon took care of her. Anything she wanted or needed, he was right there. Probably making her tea, giving her soup, going to go get her medicine. Just anything that she needed, he was right there. Now, on May 8th, Miss Lisa said that she woke up and she just felt so much better. And she really credits that to her son nursing her back to health. So later on that day, like I said, mind you, May 8th was Mother's Day. Later on that day, Miss Lisa had asked him, you hungry? You want something to eat? So, of course, Brandon, typical mama's boy, he said, yeah. And she went on and made him the biggest steak ever with string beans and mashed potatoes. And he loved it. He loved the way his mom cooked for him. So after dinner was over with, he probably went on ahead and cleaned the kitchen up and he went on upstairs and went to bed. The following day, which is May 9th, and it was on a Monday, Brandon was at the Liberty gas station, to get gas. He parked his car by, a gas pump, and he went on inside to pay for the gas. From the surveillance video, once he went inside, it was a 2009 red Mazda 3 with New Jersey plates that had pulled right behind his car. Now, naturally, you would assume that the person in the Mazda 3 is just waiting for Brandon, with the person that had Brandon's car, excuse me, to go ahead and pump the gas and then, move so that way they can go ahead and use the same pump. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. When Brandon walks out of the inside of the gas station, he's walking towards his car. And before he even gets a chance to make it to where his the nozzle is at, 2 men exit the back seat of the Mazda 3. Both men wearing all black and masks. One was armed with the assault rifle, and the other was armed with a semi-automatic handgun. They both exit the backseat of the car, and they just began shooting. They had no regard for anybody who was out there. Because mind you, it's poor daylight. It's 2:30 p.m. It was just crazy. In an attempt to get away, Brandon runs, and these two, they follow him, and unfortunately, they shoot him multiple times. It's reported that Brandon was struck in the head and face. Now, After they finish shooting, they run back to the car. They get in the back seat, and the driver takes off. Officers arrive to the scene, and they place Brandon in their patrol vehicle. They rush him to Albert Einstein Medical Center, where unfortunately he was pronounced dead. It's reported, I read some things online, and it said that the police have made an arrest. The gunman, one arrest, I should say. The gunman had just attended a funeral for a friend who was murdered, and authorities believe that they carried out a random attack as retaliation. That's just so fucking sad. In an interview with the news reporters and everything, Ms. Lisa said that moving back to Philly was like literally the worst decision that she ever made. Well, the worst mistake that she ever made, and I really want her to know that from the bottom of my heart goes out to her, and I really does hope that she know that none of this was her fault. Like moving back to Philly, she couldn't. First of all, she couldn't have known. It's just some evil ass people out here. Um, I also read that former classmates and coaches they held a vigil in Brandon's honor, shortly after his death. A lot of the comments that I read on social media, and even from what his mom was saying, Brandon wasn't into anything. Like he wasn't into like the street stuff or anything like that. And like I said, the authorities believe that they carried out a random attack. It's just beyond sad. I really do hope that they catch the bastards responsible. It's just so sad. Like his daughter now has to grow up without her father. Like, and that little girl loved her dad. You know, when she goes to get married, she's not going to have her dad to walk her down the aisle. They robbed her of that. They robbed his mom. That was the last Mother's Day that she ever got to spend with her son. He was just a tremendous young man, and it's beyond sad. The Mazda, the license plate, it was New Jersey tags, and the plate read V as in Victor 62 P as in Paul W as in Wednesday X. And there's a $20,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest and conviction of the gunman, whoever's responsible. If you have any information, please call 215-546-TIPS. I hope you